In a remote part of the galaxy, there is a station that helps ships not get lost. One of these ships enters the sector of Lighthouse 23, but the lighthouse keeper Hallen forbids it from approaching because there is too much dark matter near the lighthouse. The man tries to turn on the forbidden signal, but the system doesn't listen to him. The microphone doesn't work either. Hallen grabs an iron bar and jams it into the gears, but it is too late. The ship has crashed into the dark matter. A scan of the area shows signs of life. Hallen immediately flies to the escape pod. Inside was Aster. The man explained that their ship had crashed and no one but her had survived. The beacon had gone offline for some reason, and he had tried to restart the system, but nothing worked. To Aster's surprise, she found that she was adapting very well and space looked amazing. According to Hallen, this is from the capsule's emergency exit. The most surprising thing is that her ship flew exactly to Beacon 23, but Hallen doesn't know anything about that. Aster mentions that he sent them reports about rare mineral deposits. Hallen doesn't know how to react at first, but pretends to have sent the documents, which she won't get because of the broken beacon. It's more important to find out why the lighthouse is broken. Before leaving, Aster steals a knife. Waiting until Hallen isn't around, she asks Harmony for access to the data. The lighthouse keeper doesn't want to cooperate, but this will take a long time. Walking through the base, the girl is surprised to see that every button is signed. At this point, Hallen reprimands the robot for not showing the messages, and if the girl gets into the wrong business, she'll have to be killed. A little later, Aster connects to the database, and one of the entries is the lighthouse keeper Salomon, the one Aster is flying to. Hallen enters the room and wonders what she's doing since she has no access. Everything she thinks is wrong. The real Solomon flew away with his ship. The girl is not interested in his stories. Suddenly, she stabs the Hallen with a dagger, but due to his obvious advantage in strength, he knocks her out. Later, the Aster wakes up. However, he cannot go anywhere because of his chained leg. This is when the artificial intelligence of the Harmony appears. A new day dawns, and Hallen notices that the girl is missing. After looking through some of the compartments, he stumbles upon Harmony and doesn't realize who is standing in front of him. He tries to get closer, but gets trapped. Aster comes out behind him with Harmony and Bart. The robot says that the last lighthouse keeper is dead, and this man has taken over. Hallen tries to say that this is not true, because if he is evil, then why did he save her life? But the Aster won't listen to him and just walks away. The database contained information about minerals that mankind had never found before. At the same time, a message arrives that a Katara team will be here in 40 hours. Aster relays this news to Hallen. He has a panic attack and needs to leave the lighthouse as soon as possible. Aster offers to drink a cure for the voices in his head. He can refuse, or he can believe that she doesn't want to hurt him, and Hallen decides to take the glass. A little later, he remembers something, but he won't just tell it. He needs the shuttle, and if the information was important, she will let him go. The lighthouse keeper forbade him to press this button. It connects the external antenna to the door to the vault. But as soon as Hallen approached the door, he had a psychological attack and returned to the lower deck as quickly as possible. After being sedated, the Aster returns to the antenna completely covered in rare crystals. Though Hallen has fulfilled his promise, the Aster is not about to let him go. Suddenly, a new ship starts approaching the lighthouse, and since they are not allowed in, they force open the doors. A group of individuals led by Milan enters the lighthouse. Bart proposes to depressurize the entire floor, but the suggestion gets rejected because it would result in Hallen's death. Scanning the group reveals that they are residents of a violent colony. The bandit crew had a skilled hacker who successfully breached the security system and located Hallen. The man proposes a deal. He will open all the hatches in exchange for the rescue ship. Milan agrees. However, they are unaware that this is actually a plan to escape. Hallen pretends to attack the Astras, while Harmony turns off the cameras and discovers new details about the attackers, including Dr. Rohan. Her settlement was destroyed by a broken beacon. Hallen discloses that his body is a weapon with numerous implants received upon joining the army. His track record is extensive. Hallen requests to open all the compartments to segregate the bandits into groups. It is revealed that Chick is Dr. Rohan's child, and she instructs him to never take a life. After charging the battery to 100%, Hallen attacks the bandits. At this time, Aster makes a deal. She gives enough money for her and her son to leave the galaxy with Halan. Freedom would seem to be near, but Halan wants to leave the Aster. As soon as he leaves, the guy goes crazy and kills Rohan. Aster manages to trick Milana and stabs him several times, thus killing the bandit. Chick realizes that there is no one left but him, so he takes the money and flies off alone. While watching through the cameras, Aster notices that Halan has a panic attack when he sees the crystals. Under the microscope, the structure of the crystals is exactly the same as Aster's amulet. The amulet was inherited from her mother, who believed it to be very special. After the bandit attack, part of the base was left without power. But Harmony investigated the death of a former lighthouse keeper. Halan had nothing to do with it. But why Bart distorted the facts, she doesn't know. Halan was attacked, but he didn't stand a chance against a military man. She and Aster are on the same team. Aster explains that the mission almost failed. Someone broke the beacon, but they managed to find some rare crystals. 3 hours later, a blob of dark matter began to approach the station. It should take 4 days for the blob to dissipate. Collie turns on the ship's computer and asks for all data on Halan. Bart agrees and calls Halan a mad killer. A short time later, Aster shows Collie his find. A new day arrives, and the Colli secretly returns to his ship to send a message about Halan's whereabouts. Aster begins to suspect that their ship was destroyed for a reason. During dinner, the Colli pulls out Halan's file. He is accused of being a deserter who caused the death of most of his troops. A short time later, Halan steals a piece of access to the ship. Coley confesses that the ship's destruction was a staged event sponsored by the corporation. Aster wasn't supposed to know, so he takes a sleeping pill and goes to find Halan. He falls into a trap and cannot resist anymore. Aster suddenly runs out, stabs and kills the Coley. That concludes the first part of this issue. Well, if you want a sequel, just let us know in the comments. See you very soon. Bye.